Yeah.
Who is the artist that designed the poster that we showed off earlier? Because you guys have pulled in some incredible artists for previous Zombies work.
That's so that one is that's Simon Bisley. He was. I'm gonna age him now, so sorry, Simon. When I was a kid, I used to read a comic called 2000 AD, which is where Judge Dredd and Rogue Trooper and a lot of my childhood comic heroes came from. And Simon was an artist at 2000 AD, and so when the opportunity arose to work with him, I couldn't turn it down.
That's actually really awesome.
But you know, we've worked with pretty much so every time we do it, essentially I try and get a different kind of comic artist or traditional artist that I'm a huge fan of, and I'll just kind of hire them and spend Activision's money to do it. So you know, that's kind of fun. Simon's kind of, you know, friend of the studio, kind of come back multiple times and helps us on stuff. But I just love now we live in such a Photoshop world, you know, where you look at, you know, movies and so forth. Most have got a very templated look to it. They're all the same style. It's always the big heads and so forth. And you know, we're not a stranger to heads on posters either. But I do like the fact that we'll make decisions on our posters and our images that are non-traditional, that marketing wouldn't normally approve or do. I love the painterly style. I love doing abstracts. You know, I mean, Classified, we did a very different style as well. So yeah, it's about, I think it should mirror our mentality on the mode, which is different things, different tastes, different styles, and you know, sometimes getting your heroes or getting people that you really like and then asking them what they don't like to do and then asking them to do that, which is a little bit how we do our design over here sometimes.
Does this mean that there's a Classified poster out there? Because I don't think I've seen one.
I don't think we've actually put the poster out. It's the I mean, it's our loading screen image with Samantha.
Is this related to I think it was released the other day. Now it's a background on PS4.
Is it?
I think maybe, if we're talking about the same image.
Yeah, it's one Samantha. She's got the moon as one eye.
Yeah, the Earth as the other.
Oh,
that was great.
And then you've got the different heads actually making up her neckline, and then the Pentagon, and then the zombies are her shoulders and so forth. And, I just like the idea of this kind of 2 to 3 read image. The idea that you could look at an image, but you have to look at it twice or 3 times before you see all the elements in it.
Well, that's exactly what it felt like. Where I think the first time I saw that image, it was a really low-res version of it. Like somebody just like.
I think
like
they got it from the PlayStation store,
just like a little thumbnail of it, and so you blow it up, and like all the faces, you kind of lose it in the detail, and I'm like, I feel like I'm just looking at an ink blot.
Right.
Like all these people seeing faces in the background, I'm like, there's no way there's faces. Y'all are like, you're pulling the stuff out of thin air.
Sure.
But then I see the higher res image, and I'm like, now I see it. And I'm like, this is just clever.
I'm really happy with that. I mean, we worked with a bunch of artists back in the UK to do that. This is the first time we've used an agency group rather than a singular individual. And again, just wanted to mix it up and try something different, and they absolutely knocked it out of the park. Yeah, it was great.
When you do this, you tell those artists, these are the things that I want, and fit it into this style, or do you just let them run free?
So I take a very direct hand in the poster generation when we do our music videos and so forth, and obviously standing on the shoulders of giants here, by the way, because I don't have a artistic bone in my body, but I like to work with these really creative people, and I just kind of point the direction for them and then let them go wild. Like one of the first conversations when I work with a poster artist for the first time is, I want you to paint what you want to paint. In other words, I don't want to dictate the style. I want to tell you about things that are inspiring me and things that I'm interested in. I want to talk about elements that want to get in there. But imagine someone's going to pay you for you to paint whatever the hell you want to paint. What would you paint? And then that's where we get the stuff from. So, you know, like when we work with like Dave McKean, right, for the Revelations post, that's a very different poster than the other styles. I was a huge fan of him from doing the front covers for the Sandman comics. So that's a Neil Gaiman comic series. You know, he did those kind of twisted kind of views of, you know, Dr. Monty as the main face, and the characters are all twisted and stuff. I never said that, right? But it absolutely speaks to his style and his aesthetic. So that's a kind of key thing. And in the same way that internally, when we talk to the sound department or the animation or the art models, you know, we ask for them to put the love in and do what they are passionate about. And I think that's why when people play these games or play our game, they can feel that. They can feel that this is people at the top of their craft doing the thing that they want to do. Which, you know, we've all worked on games where we're trying to make the game. Zombies is something where you're seeing artists, and I mean that in both senses, scientists, artists, and artists, practicing their craft with the love why they got into the industry in the first place.
But that's probably one of my favorite parts of Zombies, where you jump in and you're like, I feel like they care. Like, they put the time and you see all the little details. Yeah, I never see Pack-a-Punch here.
We don't tell them to put the candle there. You know, they get in and they're like, this is my area, I want this to pop, right? But in the same way, the concept artists who will sit down and kind of sketch out an area, they will describe something and they'll make it because they love painting, you know, certain moods and feels. They put it over there, the builder takes that, works with that, you know, then the sound designer comes in and it's like, okay, what emotions is this invoking me? Now let me try and experiment with different sounds and different techniques, right?